That was so unscripted and unexpected. It's a pleasure to be back at Mesa Morning Live. I missed last month, not that it matters, but I'd like to thank Mayor Giles for filling in and doing a fine job. You know, whenever I'm on the road doing stuff, he tends to fill in. So what do you think that when I'm back, I should be the mayor of Mesa for a couple of days? Some of you, Dave Barnes, you're not into that. I would pass some unbelievable executive orders. I'd close at noon.
Yeah.
Everywhere. And happy hour starts at 10 a.m. It's a happy afternoon. Anyway, we've got a busy show scheduled this morning, so let's talk about our behind-the-scenes sponsors. Thanks to, as always, thanks to Crescent Crown Distributing for this awesome venue to host Mesa Morning Live. We'd like to thank Alpha Graphics, Gateway Bank, the Hilton Phoenix Mesa, and the East Valley Tribune. Our sponsor this month is Brookdale Senior Living Solutions, and breakfast was also provided by the fine folks at Brookdale. So thank you very much. The bags, don't forget to get your bags on your way out. They're full of all kinds of cool goodies from other Mesa members. If you'd like to be a part of the bag program, make sure you talk to anybody at the desk or Bob or Sally after the show. If I haven't mentioned, I didn't mention it yet, don't forget to silence your cell phone. For the first timers, here's the way we do this. If your phone goes off during the show and disturbs those around you, we'll consider that a $20 donation to the United Food Bank. So, and we'll talk about them in a little bit. They had a devastating loss that we're going to try and help them recoup. So now more than ever, leave your phone on maybe, because we could use the 20 bucks. But that's just a courtesy to those around you. Kind of a fun story, I think. Well, I'll talk about that in a minute. Let's get our first guest out here. There's no better way than to kick it off with a little bit of our episode sponsors. Please welcome our first guest from this morning's sponsor, Brookdale Senior Living Solutions. Please welcome Jennifer McCarthy and Brittany Riggs. Jennifer and Brittany. Welcome,
Hello,
good to have you here.
Good morning.
Good morning, welcome to Mesa Morning Live, and now all your dreams have come true.
Yes, absolutely.
You get to be here on a Friday morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I was waiting for some enthusiasm.
We're so excited.
Yeah, just the way we did it in rehearsal. Tell us what's going on at Brookdale and what you guys do at Brookdale.
So we are actually the largest senior provider in the country.
We were founded in 1978, so we kind of like to think of ourselves as a pioneer in the senior living industry.
That's great. And where did you didn't start here in Mesa, did you?
I actually, no, we didn't start in Mesa.
But we've got a little over 1,100 communities in the nation.
Oh, wow.
I believe 28 in Arizona and 7 in the Mesa Apache Junction area.
I know there's one, I don't know if you know this, there's one 7 miles away.
There is, 7 miles east of Power Road, yep.
That's been the big talk of the morning.
It is gonna be, yep.
Well, how do you get, how do seniors and their families come to you? What's the process involved in making sure that you're a good fit for them?
Sure, so from the initial phone call, we really try to dig deep and understand what their needs are for either themselves or their loved one, and then we discuss the solutions that Brookdale can offer for those individual needs.
And to touch on what Jen said a little bit too, you know, care is a very crucial part of the process, but we want to know a little bit more at Brookdale. We want to know who you are and who you were before you needed the care. We want to know your hobbies and your interests and your passions, and based off of what you need care-wise and your personality and those passions, we find the right fit between our 7 communities in the East Valley.
What do you offer in the Arizona communities? What do you offer to your residents?
Yeah, so there is 7 communities, like I said, 6 of us in the East Mesa area and 1 in Apache Junction. Between all of us, we have independent living, assisted living, secured assisted living, memory care, and then we also have Brookdale Home Health and Brookdale Hospice. So we can come in, we can help a senior at their home, help them transition to the correct community, and then help them with end-of-life services if that's needed as well.
Is there any way that I don't think I'm ready for it full-time, but could I stop in every now and then for some memory care?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That seems to be an issue.
We
for
do
example-
respite stays, so you could come, you could stay a couple weeks, test it out. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, they'd never, I'd be like R.P. McMurphy. They'd never let me out. Remember Cuckoo's Nest? That would be me. Well, good, if you could help me. Do you have, for example, do you have any idea where I parked this morning? Because I've already forgotten.
I do not,
Okay,
no,
we'll get back to me on that. Well, I know that this morning's breakfast was a coordinated effort between all the different Brookdales. So thanks for breakfast. Did you enjoy breakfast this morning?
Good. Thank you to our chefs, yes.
I can't help but notice, is that a Brookdale chef back there?
Absolutely.
Either that or Chef Boyardee has Crash Card breakfast.
He is from our Brookdale Springs location, so he set up the whole live waffle station today.
So thank you, Chip.
Yes.
What did you, I didn't even eat breakfast. What did you have? You had a live
He
waffle?
had a live waffle station, so he's making waffles live. You can
That's-
make sure you stop by and get one.
So much better than the dead waffle station.
Well, you know.
I didn't even know there was such a thing. That's awesome. So what's the future? I know as the population ages, there's got to be more and more demand, and I'm not sure why you looked at me and smiled when I said that. There's got to be more and more demand for Brookdale and your communities. What do you see down the road?
So initially, as you said, the population is aging, and so we're always adapting to the change and to the competition out there. We really want to focus, again, on the individual needs. That's what makes Brookdale better and different. We offer what we call optimum life, and it's helping the residents live each day to their fullest.
That's great. Now, if these folks have questions about family members or their own future, how do they ask you guys about that? Do you track it down online? Do they come out and visit a community in person?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can visit a community. Like I said, we are a network of 7 in the East Mesa, Apache Junction area. So if you were to come into my Brookdale and you weren't the right fit for my Brookdale, I can talk to you. We can kind of do that discovery process of what you need. And then I can say, I think a different Brookdale is appropriate. And then we will work together so that you're not having to visit a bunch of communities that maybe aren't the right fit.
Yep, and you can inquire through brookdale.com. I believe there's also a number that will be posted that you can reach out if you have any questions. We want to be a resource, so whether you're looking tomorrow or 5 years down the road, we believe it's better to be proactive and educate yourself than reactive if a situation changes.
Sure. Got time maybe for a question? Anybody have a quick question? Otherwise, are you guys going to hang around afterwards?
Absolutely.
And yeah, feel free to stick around. The live waffles might be dead, but there's a reason for you to stick around. If anybody's got
That's
any
right.
questions, make sure you ask them for a business card or set up a little a visit to one of the 7 Brookdales in the Valley.
Absolutely.
That's great. Well, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for
How about a
having me.
nice round of applause once again for Jennifer McCarthy and Brittany Riggs. And thanks again for Brookdale, and thanks, Chef. Good job on breakfast. Everybody enjoyed it. Hey, real quick, we're going to talk a little bit about the United Food Bank. I don't know if you heard about this, if you're friends with them on Facebook, but they had a devastating loss of a freezer and a compressor, and they lost, I believe it was 21,000 pounds of meat. And that's a lot of protein, and it all is empty now. And so they're trying to raise money. I know that's a common theme, but this is really a time of year when it's needed. They're going to need somewhere in the neighborhood of $30,000 to replenish the freezer, the compressor, do it upright, and get some food in there. So if you'd like to go, there's a, where is Melissa? There she is. You said there's a GoFundMe page. Go to United Food Bank's Facebook page, and you'll see a link to the GoFundMe page. Any donations would be welcome, whether it's $5 or $5,000. They could use every little bit to get everything up and running again. And thank you very much for what you do. And let's see if we can't really put a nice dent in that need for a new freezer. So thank you very much. And boy, what a great bunch of publicity. If your business would like to get some some good PR, it would be a great way to step up with a hefty donation to the United Food Bank. So, and not just this, when this is behind us and we've got everything taken care of, they are open 365 days a year because that's how many days people are hungry. The doors are always open for a donation. So once again, nice round of applause. Thank you, United Food Bank, for all you do. Hey, good news. When I got here today, Sally mentioned that one of our most popular guests of all times, he's a recurring guest here at Mesa Morning Live, is going to be back in October. Mr. Scott Flansburgh, the human calculator. And yeah, he's awesome. And I thought I'd take just a minute and share kind of the timing on this story is a little bit good. He'll be here in October, but on the way down here today, I was thinking about a story of Scott, who I've known for 20 plus years. 19 years ago, he had a surprise 50th birthday party for one of his best friends, Alice Cooper, in Paradise Valley, the Valley's own Alice Cooper. And my wife and I were invited, and we went, and it was a blast. And there were all kinds of people there, rock and roll stars to everybody, to goofballs like me. And Scott had hired this little one-man band guy to set up a little, he didn't even tell the guy whose birthday it was, but this guy was setting up a little portable stage, and he had it was like a Jimmy Buffett kind of a guy. He was strumming a guitar, and it was like really high-end karaoke, right? But the guy was really good, but he was a local guy, he didn't, anyway. So all of a sudden he's setting up, and he goes, oh my gosh, I think that's Alice Cooper. And Scott goes, well, yeah, that's whose birthday party this is. And he's like, oh my God, I'm nervous. I got to play guitar in front of Alice Cooper. It was kind of funny. And then here's Slash from Guns N' Roses and Dave Mustaine from Megadeth. Anyway, it was kind of intimidating for this guy. And the reason I tell this story, other than the tie-in to Scott, is at one point a guy walked up and said, hey, I see you got an extra guitar. Do you mind if I play the guitar? And the guy looked up, and it was Glenn Campbell. And his mouth fell open, because Glenn Campbell, rest in peace, Glenn. What a great, talented musician. Was one of the greatest guitar players of all time. So anyway, Glenn Campbell picks up an acoustic guitar and starts jamming on some Beach Boys songs with this guy. And this guy's mouth just fell open. He said, I didn't know my guitar would do that. It's not really the guitar. But anyway, it's pretty cool. And rest in peace, Glenn Campbell. What a great ambassador for the Valley. Boy, you think of him, you think of By the Time I Get to Phoenix and all those great songs. And if you ever want to see a good documentary, sit down with a box of tissues and watch I'll Be Me. The documentary of the late years of Glenn Campbell and his fight against Alzheimer's. What an amazing documentary. So watch that. It'll touch you because we're all going to be touched by that at some point. So anyway, Scott Flansburgh will be here in October. But let's talk about who's here now. Our next guest is from the American Lung Association. Please welcome the Executive Director. This is Julie Reed. Julie, come on up. Welcome to Mesa Morning Live. Good to have you here.
Oh, it's great to be here.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. I know we had some business dealings many moons ago, but tell us about where you're from and all that good stuff and how you're involved with the American Lung Association.
Sure. So I went to high school in Mesa. I'm very proud of that. Dobson High School, go Mustangs.
Did you finish high school?
Of course I finished high school.
Because a lot of these people didn't.
Yeah. So now I work for the American Lung Association, and the Lung Association is actually the oldest voluntary nonprofit organization in the United States. We've been around for over 100 years, and our mission is to improve lung health and prevent lung disease. And we do that through advocacy, research, and educational programming. I think many people think of us as the anti-tobacco group, which, to be honest, we are, but we do a lot more than that. We help COPD patients, asthma patients. We have big initiatives around keeping kids in school and not missing school because of their asthma, and we do a lot with lung cancer.
That's great. Well, I know you're here to talk a little bit about a new initiative for the Lung Association. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So our initiative with lung cancer is called Lung Force. We had found that many people don't realize that lung cancer is the #1 cancer killer. When we spoke with women across the country, they assumed it was breast cancer, and men assumed it was prostate cancer. Probably not a big surprise to all of you. But the reality is lung cancer is the #1 cancer killer. And Mark, if you were diagnosed with lung cancer today, you'd have less than a 50% chance of living in 1 year. And those just aren't acceptable odds for us. And we want to make a difference. We need to create awareness around this initiative, put more funding into research, especially in early detection, and really create a force of people that really want to battle lung cancer.
Well, I'm looking at the board, though, with some of these details. The one that caught my eye, in the last 37 years, lung cancer death rate has doubled for women. Why is that? Are more women smoking, or is it the ingredients in the cigarettes, or a little bit of all that?
We just don't know, and that's why research is so important. We do know that women are more susceptible to lung disease as well, to asthma and COPD. So we need to do the research to figure out what's going on and to get better treatments for folks.
That's great. Just out of curiosity, how many people, round of applause if you used to smoke and you kicked the habit and you don't smoke anymore? Round of applause. Now, out of those folks, does anybody wish they were still smoking? Awesome. Well, we'll hook you up after the show. We'll let you be a guinea pig for what happens. Wow, that's amazing. Well, you know, it's luckily I never started smoking because I'm sure I would have issues with trying to stop. But boy, it's just it's a terrible thing, and that's great. What would you like to, if these were all your kids, what would you like to tell us about the evils of smoking?
Yeah. Well, it's just not good for you. It's not good for it's not even just lung cancer. It causes many different types of cancer. And the one thing I can say is make sure your kids don't start smoking. Make sure they don't pick up those electronic cigarettes because they look cool, because it's not good for them. And it does cause a lot of health issues, not just lung cancer, but many other issues down the road.
Yeah, those are, you know, everyone says, oh, they're harmless, but it just seems like sucking heat into your lungs can't be good.
Yeah. Putting anything
I'm
in
not
your
a doctor.
lungs,
I don't even play one on TV, but it doesn't look like it could be good for you. Well, what can we as the community, what can we do to help?
Sure. Well, one of the things that you can do is to help spread awareness, and we're having a big walk event come November 18th right here in Mesa at Riverview Park. This is our 4th annual Lung Force Walk, and it's a great morning. We register folks at 8 o'clock and has festivities all morning. There's a kids zone, there's Zumba, lots of vendors there to visit. And then the walk itself goes around Riverview Park, around the Cubs Stadium, and is about almost a 3-mile walk. Riverview is beautiful. It's a great place to be on a morning in November. You can register at lungforce.org. There is no registration fee. You can just fundraise whatever you're able to fundraise for the cause.
Is there a color associated with lung cancer? Like
Turquoise?
Dave was so close with the blue. Well, that's awesome. And if anybody has any questions, can they reach you through the web or via phone, or what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yes, they can reach me on our website. The Lung Association's website is lung.org, pretty easy, or even if you do go to lungforce.org, you'd find us as well.
That's great. Anybody have any questions for, yes, got a question in the back. Holler it out.
So what does your research say regarding the health of the lung and smoking pot?
Our stance is that you shouldn't put anything into your lungs. Breathing anything at all is not healthy for the lung itself. And there's still a lot of research being done on that.
Are you asking for yourself or for a friend? Whatever. Hey, you're a big boy. You do whatever you want to do, all right? That's a great question, though, because that's, you know, that's something that everybody's talking about. Then there's a lot of side effects we don't know about yet.
Right.
That's great. Any other questions? Yes, right up front. Hang on, we got a mic coming.
A couple weeks ago in our networking meeting, you mentioned something about advocacy for inhalers for students.
Yes. We actually just passed a bill in the state Senate, or I should say the state legislature this past year, that allows schools to stock albuterol inhalers, so they're rescue inhalers in the schools. Before, if a child has an asthma attack and they go to the school nurse's office or talk to a school aide and they were in respiratory distress, if they didn't have an inhaler in that office, the only option was to call 911. So now, because of the advocacy work we've done, they can stock the albuterol in the offices and administer it to anyone with respiratory distress.
That's great. So we see a little, once again, it's November 18th at Mesa Riverview Park. We'd love to see everybody out there. It'll be a gorgeous day. November in Mesa is gorgeous. So go out there, get a good walk on. And thank you very much, Julie, for stopping by. And you gonna hang around afterwards?
I will.
She'll be at the back of the room. If you've got any questions, make sure you talk to her.
Thank you.
How about a nice round of applause for Julie Reed? Thanks, Julie. Well, Julie talked a little bit about, she mentioned schools. I don't know if you noticed this. Any parents here, did you know that school started again? Hallelujah. That's awesome. Well, it's time to we like to do a monthly top 10 list. And this month we thought it would be fun to do a back to school top 10 list. You know, it's important when you go to school, you don't want to fail. Well, sometimes there are fails involved with going back to school. So, without further ado, let's kick off our top 10 back to school fails. Top 10 school fails, number 10. Congratulations, Needham High School, for raising 1 cent on March 7th, 05. Well, you know, every fundraising goal starts with that first cent. Number 9, back to school sale, lace front wigs, $19.99. Can you see why I didn't want to put that one on the top 10 list? All right. Bob said, no, it'll be funny. Number 8, back to school essentials start here, 5 bags of soil for $5. That's awesome. If you've got that teacher that you're not really fond of, take her a bag of soil. Number 7, back to school, a big sale in the liquor department. That looks like the teacher's lounge. That's awesome. Number 6, back to school fail, literacy night. Yeah, well, can't expect them all to be perfect. Number 5, back to school essentials, bloody hands and bloody feet. No idea why that's on there. Number 4, back to school fails, knives. Wow. Some of these just kind of write themselves. Number 3, back to school fail. Welcome back, students. Rental guns available. That probably shouldn't have been on the list either, but we thought it was funny. Number 2, back to school fails. For $4.99, get a pregnancy test. There's a joke in there somewhere about teachers these days, but I won't even go there. And the number 1, back to school fail. Time for some beer pong. That's back to college right there. That's our back to school top 10 fails. You know, some of the fails were fails themselves, and that was the irony of it. It's time for a wheel of prizes. Each month we draw one lucky audience member to spin the prize wheel, and the audience member is chosen out out of all the business cards that are left at the front registration desk. If you'd like to be a sponsor on the wheel, make sure you talk to Bob or Sally or anybody at the desk after Mesa Morning Live. If the spinner lands on jackpot, he or she will win every prize on the wheel. We'll edit that out. Let's try that again. If he or she lands on jackpot, they'll win every prize on the wheel. That's how we like to hear it. Okay, I'm going to reach in here and pull out. You're all in the running. If you put a business card in there, you're in the running to join me on stage. And another cool benefit is you get a quick little 20, 30-second commercial on who you are and what your business is. And the winner is, here we go. Oh, this is awesome. Vice President of Arizona Business Bank, Mr. Dave Weir. Dave. Join me on stage, Dave Weir. Come on up, buddy. This is about as excited as you'll ever see Dave Weir. Dave, welcome. Good to have you here, buddy.
It's so good to be here with you.
Yeah, well, thank you, sir. It's just kind of good to be anywhere.
I noticed those gals from the Brookdale sat closest to you, so you must be next.
I am. Well, Dave and I are going to be future roommates at Brookdale. Kind of the Felix and Oscar of Brookdale. Let's go to the one 7 miles away. That would be my preference.
I like that.
All right, here's what you're going to do, Dave. Now, Dave, you're a big, strapping, studly, athletic kind of guy.
Fat guy.
Okay, well, I wasn't going to do that. If you spin the wheel toward you, don't go crazy and try and impress us on how many times, because it will fall off, fly off, and crush the people over at the sound booth. Right. So just spin it your way. If it happens to land exactly on the boom like that, you're going to get the prize closest to you. So without further ado, tell us a little bit about your business. What's going on?
Well, as most of you know, I worked for Rhonda over here at Wells Fargo for 25 years. And I retired December 30th last year. January, February, bored to death. So I put some feelers out and was offered a couple jobs and took a job with Arizona Business Bank doing what I did at Wells Fargo. And I'm having a good time. And I only work 17 to 20 hours a week, so it's a great deal.
Wow, so you're actually working more now than when you...
Well,
thank you, folks.
Actually, there's some truth in that. I asked the guy, I said, well, what if I take people golfing and the golf round takes more than 4 hours? Do you pay me overtime?
That's awesome.
And he said no.
That's awesome. All right, here, let me hold the mic because I don't want you to try and do two things at once.
Win it all.
Where's the win it all? The jackpot? Right here. Now wait, it's got to go around once. You can't do one of these. Yeah. All right, there we go. Hey, oh, oh. And Dave wins. Oh, this is awesome. You win a one free car care club membership, $435. Do you have a car, Dave?
I do.
They haven't taken the car away from you yet?
No.
Well, use it up before they do. You've won that. Oh, hang on. Dave's got a question.
No, what I'd like to do is put this up for auction to the group and then give that money to the food bank.
Oh. All right, Dave. Here's what we're going to do. By the way, this is very fortuitous. As you see, the prize wheel is sponsored by Thompson's Auto Repair and Towing, and they are actually the winning prize. It's a $435 value that Dave Weir has said, I would rather donate it to the food bank people. So let's turn this into an impromptu auction. Keep in mind, you'll be bidding with tax-deductible dollars. Please consult your CPA for this. I don't want to get dragged into court. Well, he said. And whoever wins is going to win this, and the money will go to the food bank. What do you think of that, Melissa? Huh? Okay, so who would like to offer an opening bid? It's a 430. Is Mr. Thompson here? Okay. I was going to have him describe what this is, but this is a car care Club membership, valued at $435. Has anybody got a $100? Dave Barnes has got a $100 donation to kick us off. Let's kick it up to $125. Let's take this up in baby steps so everybody can play. $125. How about $150? $150, Eric at the back. Let's take it to $175. You can, if you figure it out, you can go ahead of me here. $150 we've got. We're looking for $175. Anybody got $175? You're going to donate it. You're going to get a $435 value, and the food bank's going to get the money. Anybody? We got $150 going once. Looking for $175 right there. Thank you, sir. Now we're looking for $200. Still less than 50% of the value of the membership. So we got $175. Looking for $200. Dave, jump in at any point. $200 right there. That's what we like to call peer pressure. $200. Dave Weir, would you like to bid on the prize you just gave away? $225? $225. Yeah, why not? He'll just get that out of petty cash at the bank anyway. We got $225, we're looking for $250. You got $225 going once. I'm not going to belabor this, but you know you want to bid. $225 going twice. Wow. Dave, you won it, you donated it, then you bought it back. You've just won that for $225. Perfect. All right, here, I'm going to give this back to somebody. Thank you very much. And if you'd like to have your business profiled on the Wheel of Prizes, make sure you talk to Bob or Sally or anybody at the desk after Mesa Morning Live. Well, that was cool. And that's the kind of stuff we need to do as a community. We've got to help each other out, do good things for each other. And the food bank, boy, they can use your help. So thank you so much. It's time for our featured guest. This gentleman has been here before, and I hope he's back often because he's really a fixture of the East Valley. We'll hear more about this. He's the owner of Schnepp Farms. Please welcome Mr. Mark Schnepp. Come on up.
Good morning,
Welcome,
Mark.
sir. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Well, so let me ask you this. How common is your last name?
Oh my gosh, you know, growing up, it wasn't very common. I have a hard time going anywhere now where people, they don't necessarily recognize the face, but they recognize the name. It might be in an airport. What's unusual is when I'm out of state and people, I was at a Fry's grocery, not a Fry's, but another Vaughn's grocery store in California, some little town in California, and I walk in and they see my name and it's like, are you connected with Schnepp Farms? And I said, oh, well, as a matter of fact, I am. So
That's
it's
awesome.
just, yeah, it's very cool.
Well, yeah, when you hear the name, I mean, everybody. Let's do this. Round of applause if you've ever been out to Mark's Farm, Schnepp Farm.
Okay, now I'm not sure I believe that, but come on out if you haven't been, because we'd like to have you.
That's great. Well, tell us a little bit, give us a little small version of how this all happened. I mean, who'd have thunk it?
Who'd have thunk it? It's a family farm. My grandparents started it in 1941, so, you know, we're getting close to our 80-year anniversary. But in the early 90s, I married the beautiful Carrie Biggs, who I'm still married to, and the farm wasn't doing very well. And we were trying to figure out a way. We didn't want to sell the farm. We were trying to figure out a way to kind of make a living at it. And so we decided that we would bring in some entertainment and some educational tours and that sort of thing. And it started on a very small scale, but it's now grown to where we have about 250,000 visitors a year at the farm. We've got lots of projects going on. We're one of the largest agritainment operations in the country. And it's, you know, we're a step below a major theme park, but it's not inconceivable that we won't actually reach that level someday.
Wow. You know what? That farm was around before the word agritainment.
Carrie and I kind of helped coin that term, and it's in the dictionary now, so.
Is it really?
It is, it is.
That's awesome. Now, give us, for those that are maybe new to the Valley or uninitiated, tell us where you're located physically.
We're actually in Queen Creek on Rittenhouse and Cloud Roads there. It's just a short 30-minute drive from here. Of course, it depends on traffic. But it's easy to get to will be easier in about 2 years because the town of Queen Creek's getting ready to spend about $26 million on road improvements and infrastructure improvements kind of around in that area of Queen Creek. And so we're gonna have Riggs Road passing by us now with a major intersection or major entrance there, as well as improvements on Rittenhouse with 4 lanes.
Would those be onions?
No, those are turnips.
Oh, okay.
Those are turnips. And those kids are so excited to get those. They have no idea what they are, but they're really excited to get those.
That's awesome. I was going to say, you grow some really funky looking peaches. I've never seen them coming out of the ground like that before.
No.
So what is that? Obviously, that's one of the crops.
Well, it is. What we have about a 4-acre certified organic garden, and we do it just for the public. We don't sell to grocery stores. We don't sell to farmers markets. We want the public to come and have that experience right there of picking their own produce, whether it's peaches off of the tree or turnips out of the ground or carrots or whatever the case may be. But that's our niche, is giving people that back to the farm experience. And people, they love that. We do about 20,000 school kids a year that come out on school tours. They get to do that. But we're open every weekend, every Thursday through Sunday, and people can come and pick whatever's in the garden. They pay by the pound. Of course, our big season is peach season. We're the largest peach grower in the state of Arizona. And we have our peach season goes April and May. And so with our festival, our peach festival, which is an amazing event, we get about 40,000 visitors a year. Wow. Just for peach picking season. So it's a lot of fun. It's crazy. People say, well, how do you do it? And my farmer friends think we're all nuts because we're inviting all this public onto the farm, you know, and they see the liability. And of course, there's that there too, but that's what insurance is for. So well, we just do it.
Since my mind works different than thankfully yours, and this topic's been broached already twice today, have you ever thought about, are you going to have cannabis? Are you going to have marijuana growing? Because I thought of a perfect name for the festival.
Please, okay.
Peaches and Herb.
The short answer is no. My banker's here. I'm afraid he might get a little nervous if we got into that.
Would that be Dave Weir?
That business.
No. Well, that's awesome. So, yeah, I know the Peach Festival is what I know is everybody talks about. It's
our biggest event, though, is October. It's the Pumpkin and Chili Party. It's coming up soon. We get about 100,000 visitors for that. We also have zombie paintball hay rides, which that's a new event.
Wait a minute, let's break that down. Zombie
paintball hay rides.
Okay.
We have these giant old cotton trailers that we've converted. We mount paintball guns on there. We hire 50 kids to dress up in zombie costumes and get shot night after night with paintballs. Awesome. And we thought the demographic was gonna be like, 15 to 25-year-olds. No, this is like, we have grandma and grandpa out there because you don't get shot back at. It's like the zombies are like coming at you, but they're not shooting at you. So you just get to like have so much fun shooting these zombies and try to kill them.
That should be a Brookdale field trip. That would be awesome. Get them all out there. Give them some peaches. That'd be cool. Well, so rumor has it you were the first mayor of Queen Creek.
I was. We, Mesa and Gilbert, were annexing out in that area. We had this beautiful little community, only about 5,000 people. We were afraid we were going to get swallowed up. So a group of us got together, incorporated. I became the first mayor, served mayor for 11 years. And we kind of laid the foundation, did the planning for all of this growth. The population is now pushing 50,000. Wow. We have about 10,000 home sites in the pipeline right now for the community of Queen Creek. So the growth has been phenomenal. I haven't been mayor for a long time. I've been out of office for about 15 years. But I'm really proud of the fact that the community has grown up using the vision that kind of the early founders of the town put together.
Well, you mentioned something earlier about a theme park and say, but don't be surprised if it grows into that. Mm-hmm. If we had a nice little Schnepp Farms crystal ball here, mm-hmm. What do you see 5 years, 10 years, and further down the road? What would you like to see?
Thank you for asking. I will tell you. We, Disneyland started with 80 acres. I've got almost 300 acres. So we have this amazing sort of blank canvas. We're doing all kinds of fun things already. But we're already doing glamping, which is glamorous camping. We have a number of vintage Airstream trailers, yes, some fans of that, where you can come out and stay in a vintage Airstream trailer. We're the first hotel in the community of Queen Creek, but we have plans for 2 more hotels, a little upscale boutique hotel, as well as a brand hotel. We have 3 wedding venues, so we're doing about 100 weddings a year out there. But we are starting the process of opening the door to theme park companies to come out and do a joint venture with us. We've got lots of space. We're going to have the roads to get people in and out, and we want to see more amusement rides. In fact, my wife is sending someone up to Colorado today to buy new amusement rides. We have amusement rides on the farm already. There's about 10 of them, smaller rides, but we want to grow that to be, some major coasters and some water rides. And so we'll have overnight accommodations. We'll have the theme park, but we also have kind of this foodie experience. And in Queen Creek, we have what we call the foodie trail. So people can come to our place and get vegetables. The olive mill is right next door. Sauceman Farms is just starting their heritage grains. We have the pork shop down the road. So we're going to be like a little mini version of Napa Valley or Sonoma Valley, where people can come spend the weekend. We'll have some hotels and visit all these places and have this incredible foodie experience. So it's not just for kids, it's for the big kids too.
That's awesome. And you and Carrie have a family?
We do. We have 4 kids.
Are they all involved in the business?
They've all grown up in the business, and they get tired of it, and they go away, and then they say, maybe it wasn't so bad working for mom and dad, and then they come back. So we have a 23-year-old and an 18-year-old working for us on the farm right now. The other 2 are out of the country. So.
Wow. Is that by design? Did you ship them out?
we want them to have other experiences besides working on the farm here.
That's cool. Well, it's been a while since I've been out there, but it sounds like something's changing all the time.
All the time, and Carrie and I, we have so many projects. I joke that we don't have enough years left in our lives to do all the projects that we want to do, but we bring in some additional partners like a theme park company or like hotel people, and all of a sudden we're able to make it go faster. But the whole idea is that agriculture is kind of all being developed. And once a farm becomes rooftops, it never can be a farm again, basically. This is our way of preserving an Arizona family farm. We're bringing in some fun things and commercial things, but the idea is that it remains a working farm where people can have that farm foodie experience, and we're just thrilled with it.
That's a cool, I can't see very well because of the banners, but that's a cool looking old building. What is that?
That is our country store and bakery. It's an old roadside stand that my dad and I put up. I was just a kid at the time, but we did it in the 1970s. So people would drive right up and park right in front and buy a 100-pound bag of potatoes or 50-pound bags of onions. Carrie and I have converted it into a country store and bakery with a kitchen, so we serve breakfast and lunch out there every Thursday through Sunday. We're working on a steakhouse. We're going to put a little steakhouse on the farm. We're going to do a little pizza place on the farm. And that all works in conjunction with the future hotels that are going to be there and the additional events. We're working on a concept of a new music event. We brought Country Thunder to the Valley back in 1994.
Talk about that a little bit.
Well, they were in Colorado, and they knew they wanted to come to the Arizona market. They went to literally every community in Arizona. They fell in love with Queen Creek. They came knocking on people's doors to find a farmer crazy enough to allow them to come and put 100,000 people on their farm for a weekend. And we were just a little crazy enough to do that sort of thing. So they've since gone down to Florence, but we have a venue that can hold about a concert for about 30,000 people. Wow. With camping and parking and amusement rides and the whole thing. So we're working on a new concept for next year to bring a new big event, which the East Valley is going to love. If any of you are in the entertainment business or hotel business or restaurants, it's all going to be positive because it will bring lots of people. And by the way, we get guests not just from Arizona, we get them from out of state, but also out of the country. We host events on the farm where people literally fly in for those events. And it's always fun to be able to talk to someone from Australia or Canada or England who have come all the way to Queen Creek, Arizona to be in an event.
What's that? Are you at liberty to talk about that event you're talking about? Or?
Not yet.
See?
Yeah.
There's always that.
One of those, yeah.
One
of those deals. The deal has to be done and signed before we can make the big announcement.
I like it though. That's good. Your whole place out there. This should be a HGTV. I'm sure that you've thought about that. And
well, we actually had people wanting to do a reality show on the farm, and quite frankly, they did weeks of filming, and just decided we were too normal. And so we weren't just weird enough to do the reality show. And so I kind of breathed a sigh of relief. My wife, however, she ballroom dances, so she was on a ballroom dance reality show that has aired on, I don't even remember which network, a number of times.
That's hilarious.
And you know, she loves that sort of stuff. And so, but she was in news. She was in television news before I married her. She lived in New York, she lived in LA, you know, and I marry her and I bring her out to Queen Creek, and she just goes crazy.
It's like Green Acres.
It was, man. We joke about that, but it was Green Acres.
I will be Mr. Haney. That's awesome. Well, good for you. I'm sure we've got some time, which we're trying to get everybody out of here because we're out of time. But we've got a couple of minutes. Does anybody have any questions for Mark? If somebody, oh, here we go. We've got a question.
Do you have standard, you know, vegetable gardening, and then how's that comparison with organic? Because that's a huge thing now.
Because the public really is interested in organics, we've switched the farm over to be a certified organic vegetable operation. Now, the orchards aren't organic, although we don't use chemicals in them. So they're chemical free, but we haven't gone through the process and the expense of getting them certified organic. But we just, you know, when I was growing up, it was a typical farm, so we used whatever chemicals we needed to use. But because the public is concerned about that, we just felt like we'll just do the organic thing. And it's harder. It's really hard, but it's very popular, and we appreciate it. So,
Do you have animals out there?
Far too many. Oh my gosh, yes. My wife is an animal lover, so we have a petting zoo. People, you know, lots of animals in the petting zoo. We also have a herd of fallow deer, which we inherited about 11 years ago, and the herd has grown from 40-something to about 80-something.
What are fallow?
Fallow, it's a European breed of deer. They're cute. They have these big, wonderful antlers, and they look like reindeer. So at Christmas, when we do our Christmas event, they magically become Santa's reindeer. And that works out really well for us. The rest of the time, they're just cute to look at.
Now, do they freak out during the zombie paintball games?
No, they're far enough away.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a big farm. It's a big farm. I know Dave had a question.
Yeah.
Another first out there, you might tell them about the cemetery. First one in Queen Creek.
First one in Queen Creek. Queen Creek has needed a cemetery for years and years and years, and no one was stepping up to the plate. And so I just decided that we had enough land. We took 15 acres and on a corner of the farm, and we've developed a beautiful cemetery, and I'm just really proud of it because the community appreciates it so much. I mean, you don't think, well, you've got the entertainment, and how does that fit? It's a big property, but it fits because the community really needed one. And it feels very satisfying to be able to help people in their time of need with a cemetery. And you know, they're very long-term investments. And so you have to be willing to sort of just just pay for a long time before it comes back. But it's part of our mission of being a benefit to the community and being a legacy in the community.
So tell me again what year you and some other people incorporated Queen Creek. What year was that?
It was in 1989.
Okay.
I was serving on the County Planning and Zoning Commission, but it took us 3 years to get incorporated because state law was written by existing municipalities, and the existing ones don't want new ones. And so they make it really hard for new communities to incorporate. And so it took us 3 years. We had to spend time down at the state legislature and lobbying, meeting with Mayor Rubach and town of Gilbert officials. We finally got it done. We incorporated, and it's just been a phenomenal success. I mean, I'm very proud of the fact that we didn't lose our identity, because we would have just been swallowed up and become part of Mesa and Gilbert. And to Mesa's credit and Gilbert's credit, as soon as we were incorporated, they offered to help us and to help us grow. But it's really enabled us to do the planning that we needed to do to become a quality community. You know, we had giant 600-acre landfills that wanted to be out there. We wanted hundreds of acres of our RV parks. We had, there were just some things that we didn't really envision as being part of a 600-acre dairy, kind of right in the middle of town. And all of those things would have happened had we not incorporated and been able to control our destiny. So it was a good thing. It's a really good thing.
Well, the reason I ask, in your wildest dreams, would you ever have believed back then that Queen Creek would have grown to where it is now?
Well, we kind of envisioned that it would.
Really?
Yeah, it was a matter of timing. It's gone faster. It's developed faster than what we thought it was going to. But we knew that development was going to come out our way. We were desperate for some commercial services. You know, we had a Circle K. That was everything we had out there. And you know, now we have all the big boxes, which a lot of people don't care for. But we have a really healthy local business community. And of course, Santan Valley is to the southeast of us. You know, that's a much bigger community. It's about 3 times the size of Queen Creek now, and they all kind of pass through the town. So we have some traffic issues that we're dealing with, but the town is very proactive at that and getting ready to spend tens of millions of dollars to build the infrastructure that we need.
All these folks are affiliated with businesses large and small. If they'd like to have corporate events out there, that's right in your wheelhouse, isn't it? It
is, man. We do lots of corporate events. We have we call it the Red Barn. It's one of our venues. We can, you know, have 1,000 people in the Red Barn, about 400 to a sit-down dinner. We've got lots of outdoor spaces. We have a farmhouse, which is the house I grew up in, which is another venue. Beautiful for small dinners. Gateway Bank is coming out for a Christmas party this year at the farmhouse. So but we also have these amazing events, and people can come. They don't have to have like their own event all by themselves. They can bring their group out and be part of the pumpkin and chili party and do zombie paintball and part of the Peach Festival. So we're able to incorporate it all in, which makes it a lot more fun than just you know, a typical event.
Well, if you've got kids or grandkids in Phoenix, Phoenix has just turned into such a big city. Get them out to Snup Farms. Come out, smell the fresh air. And boy, 300 acres without pavement, it's got to be a little cooler out there.
It is a little cooler, and we've got, you know, the amazing orchards and fields and mature trees. I mean, it's like stepping into a whole new world. And as growth continues in the area, I mean, the farm to the south of us is going to be developed into 400 home sites within the next 2 to 3 years. We'll be completely surrounded, but we will be this amazing green oasis of rural character just right in the middle of all the urban stuff. So.
How big is Central Park in New York?
It's bigger than the farm. Yeah.
But that's what it'll be like. It'll be like, boom, right in the middle of all this growth.
Exactly.
Anybody else have any questions for Mark? Yes, right up front here. Hang on, we got a mic coming.
All right, so I know that you have a lot of very unique events out at your farm. What was one of the most unique event pitches that anybody's ever sent to you for a maybe not so conventional party?
You know, we hosted for 1 year a fairy festival, and it's where people actually dress up. They take on the persona of some fairy, and it may be a fairy in literature, or it may be something that they just created. But it was, and it still exists. It just came to our farm for a year and went someplace else. But that was a really unusual one. We have a Renaissance group that comes every year, and they're all in full Renaissance costumes, Renaissance period tents, and there's about 4,000 people that camp on the farm, and they do battle reenactments, and it's an awesome event too. People will swing by and they'll go, this is kind of unusual, but they're really a great group of people, and it's a lot of fun to host them. But we've had some, who was it? We had a hard rock music concert that was proposed for the farm, that just didn't go over very well. So anyway, we've had some interesting things.
The Fairy Festival, that's where you met Bob, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When you were out there, Bob was in a Tinkerbell outfit. Let's put that picture up. All right, cool. I get a little message coming my way, but anybody else have any questions for Mark? Otherwise, tell us about if we're only going to come out once between now and the end of the year, what's your pitch? What would you like for people to come out?
Pumpkin and Chili Party is our biggest event. Carrie and I love doing it the most. It's just the most fun event that we have. You know, we have all the amusement rides go. We bring in outside entertainment. There's pig races and a dog show and a BMX bike show, storytellers, fireworks at night. We do an amazing fireworks show on Friday and Saturday nights during the Pumpkin and Chili Party. It's fall, we have bonfires with marshmallow roasting. That's just really a great thing. You'll be able to stay on the farm now in the glamping trailers if you want to do that. The zombie paintball stuff, it's an adrenaline rush. People love doing that sort of thing. So that's what I would recommend. If you just want a more quiet experience, you can come out and just pick in the garden. Now, because it's 150 degrees outside, we don't have a lot of stuff to pick right now. But come fall, the garden is just filled with these amazing organic vegetables that you can come in, and you can make half a day of it just picking vegetables. Dave is raising his hand again.
That's awesome.
Go to the bakery, best pies in town, and the best hamburger in town.
Thank you for that. Yeah, Carrie is, my wife's amazing. She does far more than what she should, but she runs that thing, and most of the recipes are hers. And we have this great bakery. Peach season is in the spring, so we do peach pies. We do apple pies in the fall. So it's just, yeah, as you can tell, I don't hurt for eating.
I'm looking around. Normally, when someone does a pitch they bring the host a couple of pies or maybe a steaming burger.
I had it. It just didn't make it up to the stage here.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Mark, for coming by. We have had one complaint, not about the farm. Nobody complains. But your personal vehicle that you drive, we've heard it needs some cleaning. So our good friend, maybe it's all the wildlife that you have out there.
It could be.
So the good folks at Cobblestone Auto Spa, and I know they're all over the valley, there's one not far from you, since you're a special guest, have given you a $100 detail gift card.
Wow, I'll use it.
To use that on your vehicle.
Yeah.
I don't think they do tractors.
I could use it on that too, but
But take your personal vehicle into Cobblestone.
Thank you.
And get that detailed up, and you'll enjoy that.
That's awesome. And I just say you do a great show. I want to know when you're going national with this thing.
So do I. I wish I had somebody that was like a retired banker that could go out and pitch the show. But he's too busy playing golf and eating pies. But no, Mark Schnepp, thank you very much for coming out.
Mark.
And
great.
boy, go out and see. You gonna hang around for a little bit?
Yeah, I'll be
answer
here.
any questions?
I'll be here.
Anybody got a wedding coming up? Your grandkids, your kids, you and the wife want to renew your vows?
Renew vows. We do that too.
Do you really do that?
Yes, we do.
That's awesome. Now let me ask you this. If you renew your vows, does that mean the guy gets to have another bachelor party?
Absolutely, man. Yes.
I like the way this guy thinks. Thank you very much for taking time out of your busy day to come out and see us. Go out and see Schnepp Farms. You won't regret it. It's a great place to hang out. Thank you very much. I got a couple of quick announcements, and I think we're going to turn you loose. I just got notified here. Next month's show will be filmed at Mesa Community College Performing Arts Center. And that's good. So we won't be here next month. We'll be at MCC. Give everybody, because when I say these things, you guys all know it, but Channel 11 is pumping this into thousands of homes here in Mesa. Give us the address, the location for Mesa Community College. Oh, got a microphone? Longmore and Southern. Near US 60, that's where we'll be next month for Mesa Morning Live. That'll be cool in the Performing Arts Center. And our special guest next month is a new police chief. Oops, hang on. The new police chief, Ramon Batista, will be our special guest. So, and I'm not even gonna give him one of those.
Okay.
Because they get their cars cleaned somewhere else. But, once again, how about a nice round of applause for Mr. Schnepp, Mr. Mark Schnepp.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate you coming by. And let's thank everybody. Let's keep that round of applause for everybody that was our guest today. And thanks to the tabletops in the back of the room. Thanks to, don't forget, I know that everybody's concerned about the bottom line, but boy, our folks at United Food Bank really could use your help. So think of them and tell everybody in the community looking to do something good. United Food Bank could, it's good karma. Help them out. Once again, I just mentioned we'd like to thank the folks at Channel 11 for making this possible. Don't forget, next month, we'll see you at Mesa Community College. Go out, folks. Make it a great day. Thanks for coming to Mesa Morning Live.